The streets are saying that the documentary was better than the massacre, which it is.
If you was in the studio with Dr. Dre, with his hit production for a year straight, why would you need 3 songs from me? With him, I didn't hate him. It's just one thing that he said one day that upset me.
50 Cent has unleashed a blistering storm of words aimed squarely at the game during a recent interview. Since the game was publicly dismissed from G-Unit by 50 back in 2005, over 100 diss records have been released in what's fast becoming one of the longest feuds hip-hop has seen. The rap world is trembling as this feud, with a history drenched in animosity, takes a fiery turn yet again. Hang on tight, people, because this feud is about to set the hip-hop scene ablaze like never before. The roots of the explosive feud between 50 Cent and the game dig deep into the annals of hip-hop history, tracing back to a pivotal moment in 2005. A seismic shift occurred when G-Unit, under the helm of 50 Cent, made a game-changing decision. They traded The Massacre for the game's debut masterpiece, the documentary. This wasn't just a label swap. It was the spark that ignited a feud that's been raging for nearly 2 decades.
Since the West Coast fell off, the streets been watching. The West Coast never fell off. I was sleeping Compton, aftermath been here. The beats been knocking.
G-Unit's Tony Yayo's recent revelation during a gripping interview with Vlad TV. He peeled back the layers of this feud, revealing a connection that goes deeper than rap rivalries. It all circles back to Jimmy Henchman and his vendetta against another legend of the music world, Chris Lighty. Tony revealed that Jimmy was the record executive pulling strings behind the scenes to create friction that sparked the feud. You see, Henchman was the mastermind behind Czar Entertainment, while he also managed a web of artists, including the game.
I'll tell you, the poison in that was Jimmy Henchman.
Do you think that was a problem?
Jimmy Henchman never liked Chris Lighty.
Oh.
He never liked Chris Lighty. It was always jealousy.
Later in the interview, Tony explained that Lighty had many great artists signed to him, so he was a sore spot for many people in the industry. The game's radio appearance ignited long simmering tensions with G-Unit, as his avoidance of 50 Cent's conflicts triggered a seismic clash. On February 28, 2005, during a Flex interview, 50 Cent seized the airwaves to promote his upcoming album, The Massacre. Yet, the atmosphere grew tense as he publicly cut ties with the game, accusing him of disloyalty and revealing fractures in their unity. Later on, 50 revealed that the game was intentionally trying to provoke him, so he responded.
He wasn't even scheduled to be in New York City, and he went to radio and said things that, that made me feel like it was intentional, like he was trying to do that ahead of me releasing my record.
In a power move, 50 Cent asserted his influence by claiming credit for shaping the game's album, the documentary, saving it from obscurity. It marked a pivotal point in hip-hop history, forever solidifying the enmity between 50 Cent and the game. However, the game took a page from the playbook and countered by granting an interview with Tim Westwood in 2005. During this broadcast, he offered his perspective, depicting 50 Cent as a coward in their ongoing feud.
The streets are saying that the documentary was better than the massacre, which it is, and 50 got jealous and kicked me out of G-Unit.
Taking his response up a notch, the game went on to elaborate that he was determined not to follow the same path as Ja Rule in this feud.
Thought that he could do what he did to Ja Rule to me.
The game didn't mince words while dissing his former companion's jealous behavior. He sarcastically suggested that someone should braid 50 Cent's ponytail and have him don his skirt again.
50's a jealous little girl, man.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he's jealous, and somebody needs to braid his ponytail and put him back in his skirt.
Clearly unimpressed by 50 Cent's actions, the game expressed his belief that the rapper had lost his grasp on reality because since he left the scene, the unit has gone down.
I dropped 300 bars. I know you heard it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And now G-Unit is starting to fade away in the US.
In a tactical countermove to the game's verbal jabs, 50 Cent adopted a different strategy to undermine his adversary's reputation. During an interview, he decided to pull back the curtain on a hidden aspect of their musical collaboration. 50 Cent shockingly disclosed that he had been the creative force behind some of the game's songs, operating from the shadows to shape his music.
But I liked him enough to do as much as I did for his project. I wrote 6 records again.
Continuing his calculated strategy, 50 Cent exploited a vulnerable moment to further his narrative. He seized the opportunity to shed light on the root cause of their animosity.
Because I liked him that much, I feel like I can resolve the situation with him. I didn't hate him, it's just one thing that he said one day that upset me.
The tension escalated beyond the airwaves and into the real world when the game responded to 50 Cent's comments with a physical move. Following 50 Cent's interview, the game went to the same radio station seemingly intent on addressing the situation directly.
So 50 and Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, they didn't want to come downstairs because they were scared. I had the whole Black Wall Street with me.
However, the altercation resulted in the injury of someone from the unit, although when 50 Cent was asked about the incident, he simply denied knowing anything.
I was on the radio, so I don't know what happened downstairs, you know what I mean?
He even sidestepped the shots question while he was at it.
You know, shots got popped. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's what they would.
I wasn't.
All hiphop.com said.
Even if 50 was sleek about it, the game provided a raw and real-time account of the incident. He explained that the shots were a direct result of the heightened tension caused by the presence of security officers allegedly sent by 50 Cent.
And they were so intimidated that they pulled out guns, and my guys started walking towards the doors, and they start shooting at the ground, and shots skidded up, hit my man in there.
However, in a surprising turn of events, the game later confessed during an interview with Larry King that he was, in fact, the instigator of the altercation. He openly admitted that his youthful impulsiveness and lack of maturity had driven him to initiate the conflict.
There was a riff. We had a shootout. In New York, in front of a radio station.
Who drew first?
The game.
Reflecting on the nature of the hip-hop industry and its inherent competitiveness, 50 Cent weighed in on the dynamics of rappers and their need for autonomy. He observed that some artists are so driven by their competitive spirit that they find it challenging to coexist within a team setting. The sentiment resonated with the backdrop of his ongoing feud with the game, shedding light on the underlying factors that contributed to their rift.
Some rappers are so competitive that they can't be around a part of a team.
Having charted his course after parting ways with G-Unit and forming his own rap group, the game's perspective on the unfolding events took a noticeable shift. Expressing a sense of elation and contentment, he conveyed his excitement about the new direction he was embarking on.
It was kind of a conflict. Now, I'm on my own, man.
I mean, how you feeling about that?
I'm really feeling like 50.
In a recent appearance on Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's All the Smoke podcast, the game revisited his history of feuding with 50 Cent and G-Unit. During the conversation, the Compton rapper shared a surprising revelation. He had been offered a substantial sum of $1 million to cease using the phrase "G-U not." This offer was extended in recognition of the phrase's impact on diminishing the sales of 50 Cent's G-Unit clothing line. He recalled during the interview, "A lot of people don't know this, but 50 and Jimmy Iovine gave me $1 million to stop saying G-U not. They wrote me a check. They bought it. I had to trademark the G-U not. And you remember when I was going around with the rat and doing all that shit? That shit hurt. G-Unit." Adding another layer to their contentious history, 50 Cent asserts that he stepped in to write for the game and even featured in his early tracks. According to 50, the game's apparent lack of songwriting prowess necessitated his intervention. He suggests that even Dr. Dre recognized the need for his involvement to elevate the game's career.
If you was in the studio with Dr. Dre, with his hit production for a year straight, why would you need 3 songs from me to start your album?
A fan insightfully points out that close examination of the songs in question might provide a clue to the authenticity of 50 Cent's claims. "I believe that he wrote the songs. If you pay close attention to those songs, you can hear the game thank 50 and not the other way around. The song style is different, and he mentions ghostwriter on Hate It or Love It. 50 left his signature on those songs like Ice Cube left his on many NWA songs, and Eminem left his signature on a verse he wrote for Dre. The long-standing feud between the game and 50 Cent shows no sign of abating, as the Compton rapper made his sentiments clear during a recent club performance. Taking the stage at the Legends Only concert at Bar 5015 Club in Houston, the game didn't mince words as he directly addressed 50 Cent. The Shade Room reported on Instagram that the game's unfiltered declaration echoed through the venue, labeling 50 Cent as a B. This latest confrontation underscores the deep-rooted animosity that has persisted between the two artists, keeping their rivalry alive and well in the eyes of fans and the industry.
I still don't with 50 Cent here.
The latest development comes from G-Unit's Tony Yayo, who has taken a stance on the matter. Yayo recently weighed in on the feud, suggesting that the game should take the step of offering an apology to 50 Cent, his longtime adversary.
Yo, Game, apologize to 50 and Eminem. Yo, Buck, apologize to 50. Banks, you know what it is, and we can go get this money.
Fans believe that G-Unit reunion would be epic if only the rappers put their egos aside. Yayo offered a completely reasonable, mutually beneficial offer to all parties. Literally, if human beings put their ego and emotion aside, we would all be wealthier, safer, and healthier as a result. As the feud between the game and 50 Cent unfolds, the music world remains riveted. The question of whether the game will take heed of Tony Yayo's counsel and extend an olive branch to 50 Cent hangs in the balance, leaving fans and critics anticipating.